Hey folks, welcome back to another video. So the question of how much RAM is actually required for gaming has been answered time and time again, yet somehow the question is still open, and it will be forever because there is no definite answer to this question. The thing is, system requirements for games is an ever-changing phenomena which us PC gamers will always have to put up with. You will notice that more and more RAM seems to be required as we progress to newer generation of components. Luckily, as these requirements increase, the technology becomes more affordable, stopping us from spending every last dollar on our glorious rigs. Now, RAM can be of two types in a gaming rig. The first one is the random access memory sticks that is used to load data that are used repeatedly over and over in a game and will be inefficient to load them from the slower SSDs or even slower hard drives. We are going to talk about this RAM in today's video. The other type of RAM is the VRAM or the video RAM that is internal to your graphics card and is completely separate topic altogether. We have noticed that modern games appear to require more and more memory, and consumers are recommended to have 16GB of RAM for some games, and you can kind of see why. But do we really need 16GB of RAM for gaming, or is it just a big corporate conspiracy to take every last dime out of your pocket? Well, let's try and find an answer to that question in today's video. Now, there is an important point that we should remember while judging a game's performance on a certain amount of RAM. That is the difference between lag and stutters in game. Lag is basically the constant low FPS performance in your games. When a game lags, generally it gives an overall feeling of slowness throughout and not in bursts. Increasing RAM will not improve lag. Lag can be minimized and improved only by moving to a better graphics card or sometime a better CPU if you are facing any bottlenecking issues. But more often than not, if you are finding yourself constantly hovering around that low frame rate territory, then the graphics card is a component you should be looking to upgrade. On the other hand is a stutter. The stutter is not a constant state of low FPS but an occasional and sudden hitches and disruptions in the frame time and frame rate. At one point you might be going smooth at say 60 frames per second, and then immediately the game hitches and the frame rate drops to an insanely low number like 5 or 10 and then goes up back again. This phenomena or slowdowns are called stutters, which are more often than not caused by low RAM in the system. This is the scenario when you should be looking to upgrade your RAM rather than anything else. So let's start at the very bottom of the memory pyramid with 4GB of DDR4 RAM. Well, the thing is, there is not really much to say about this as you cannot simply game with 4GB of memory nowadays. Remember the backlash Call of Duty Ghosts caused in 2013 when it listed at least 6GB of RAM as the minimum requirements? Good old days. With so many updates and developments through the years, 4GB of RAM for your average game just isn't enough nowadays. Not only that, but with prices of RAM kits dropping and expected to drop even more in the coming months if recent reports are to be believed, it makes sense to get more than 4GB. The next logical move is definitely going up to 8GB of RAM. Most games these days list 8GB of RAM as a bare minimum requirement in the PC specifications. 8GB of RAM is actually quite serviceable for gaming, but is it the sweet spot that you should be aiming for when deciding on the RAM budget for your next build? Only a year or two ago, 8GB of fairly high-speed memory was considered to be the sweet spot, but that is no longer the case. The reason is with the advancement of graphics, higher quality textures and an overall more detailed environments, most games these days use much more than 8GB of RAM at 1080p resolution. Some of the recent titles like Call of Duty Modern Warfare and Horizon Zero Dawn use more than 12 to 13GB of RAM easily at 1080p even on medium quality settings. The game assets are only getting more complex day by day, and inevitably the RAM requirements are increasing at a faster pace. As a result, with 8GB of RAM, you can experience occasional stutters and hitches in your AAA gaming titles. So if you are looking to build an extreme budget PC, then 8GB is the bare minimum amount of RAM you will definitely need for gaming on a budget. With modern games looking as good as they are and using super high quality assets, 16GB of memory has really become the sweet spot for AAA gaming. Even a few years back, if someone said they are using 16GB of RAM in their PC would have been counted in the super high-end category. But that is no longer the case today. Games regularly use 10 to 12GB of RAM easily and sometimes as high as 13 to 14GB. So 16GB is an absolute sweet spot to play the latest and greatest AAA titles without any hitches. RAM speeds has also become an important factor, especially with the introduction of AMD's Ryzen-based processors. RAMs with higher frequencies gain a lot of performance in Ryzen-based systems. So if you are rocking 16 GB of 2666 MHz or more memory in your gaming system, you are golden at least for the foreseeable future. Anything more than 16 GB of RAM currently in a PC and we are going to that high-end territory with diminishing returns. You probably won't gain a ton of performance from upgrading your memory from 16 gigs to 32 gigs and games will apparently run the same on either of them. Where 32 gigs really comes in handy is if you are a content creator and you have to keep multiple Chrome tabs, programs and game open at the same time. 32 gigs of RAM will be beneficial for that sort of work. From a pure gaming perspective, however, we are still not at that point where we can say that we need 32 gigs of RAM for gaming, and we are still a fairly long way off from getting there. Now we are simply going into super high-end professional grade machines. Anything more than 32 gigs of RAM is an absolutely unnecessary in a day-to-day usage and gaming and even for heavy users and content creators. There is no way in hell your PC will use more than 32 GB of memory in your day-to-day tasks. Anything more is purely a waste of money and will be much better utilized if invested in other parts of the PC build, especially in the graphics card, processor or even an SSD. So there it was guys, as of August-September 2020, 8 GB of RAM is the bare minimum you will need for gaming. Anything less than that and you can wave goodbye to the modern AAA games. If you want to hit that sweet spot however and experience a smooth sailing in the latest games, 16 GB of high-speed RAM is the way to go. If you are a heavy user, a content creator or a streamer, then 32 gigs can be useful to give you a completely hassle-free experience. Anything more than 32 gigs however at this point in time is utterly useless and a complete waste of money. So thanks for watching this video everyone. I hope this was helpful for you guys. Like this video if you found it useful and subscribe to my channel to get more content like this and hit that bell icon to never miss an upload. Take care and I will catch you on the next one.